Hey guys, what is up? So we are back and we got a new project. It is not mine. I am fixing it for a very good friend of mine. Well, here you go. So it is an old Montgomery Ward's tractor with a PTO, and it's been sitting for many years and has not been started. I actually started to do a will it start video on this the other day because I went to his house because he needed a starter. I had a starter. We swapped everything around and then my starter just decided to quit. So I ordered a brand new starter for him, and we are going to start with replacing the starter and get it going in that direction. But first, this thing is full of nastiness and years of sitting, so we are going to give it a quick bath. So we get everything set up and we'll wash this thing down. Got the Blue Wolf and we're gonna spray this thing down with some Blue Wolf and then pressure wash it. So here we go. Well, let me adjust my nozzle. I need a stream. There we go. Get this thing cleaned up. He said he wasn't really sure how long this thing's been sitting. It was his granddad's before he passed away, and his granddad had it for years and actually used it as a pulling tractor and many other things. So kind of a sentimental thing, and he wants to get it going because he wants to use it. He's got the tiller attachment on the back here and he wants to use it to till his gardens. Pretty neat. They don't make them like this anymore. I'm pretty sure this thing's got a old 16 horsepower, I think it's Briggs is what's on it. It's nothing crazy, but I'd say it'll get the job done. She is just very dirty. I wanted to get it cleaned up before I put it in the shop. If you don't use Blue Wolf to clean stuff, I'm telling you, this stuff is the bomb. It takes off anything. Grease, dirt, grime, mold, mildew. Your mom's shirt. I'm just kidding. Let me get the pressure washer fired up and let's start cleaning this thing up. I got her Blue Wolf down again, under the seat, under the hood. So she's been sitting for just a minute. So I'm gonna fire up the pressure washer and let's get this thing clean the rest of the way. Alright guys, so got her pretty much cleaned up. Looks 100 times better than what it did. I mean, it's still kind of old and, you know, dirty, but you'll have that on something that's this old. But she cleaned up pretty dang good. Looks like it was actually a different color at one time. Maybe several different colors, because some of the paint come off right there in that spot and it's a different color. But yeah, motor came out pretty nice and clean. Even the wheels cleaned up pretty good. So now the chore is to get it into the shop, which ain't that big a deal, but I gotta move a bunch of vehicles around to get to it. So that's what I'm gonna do now, is move a bunch of stuff around and try to get this thing in the shop so we can get started on getting it running. So here we go. All right guys, so got it in the shop, and I had to do a couple things off camera. I had to take the gas tank out because it had a gigantic wasp nest behind it. So I got it out. So first thing we got to do to this thing to get it going is some wiring. So I was looking at it, and it's, you know, not the best condition. Of course it's old, but this is the ground wire to the battery. Yeah, not really feeling that. So gotta fix that. The end of this cable is well, pretty much shot. This was the headlights, that it's missing one. Hopefully he can find one, or we can find one, but I will hook up the one existing, but we're gonna fix all that mess. The other cable over here is, for lack of better words, pretty much shot, going to our solenoid. So we're gonna address that. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a wire. All right, so I'm having some friggin' camera issues for whatever reason. This thing just stops recording on me. But anyways, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean up where they had this as a ground wire. I'm doing away with that. I found a hole down here that has threads in it. The starter bolts to this hole and this hole. This hole is empty, but it was pretty gummed up and rusted, so I got it cleaned out. I did that off camera. I also made new terminals, or actually new cables completely, to replace this cable and replace this cable. So we got to get those two cables off. I'm going to mount this cable here, run it, and then we'll do the other stuff after. We'll get all this unbolted and all that. So after I get that done, I'm going to call it a night because it is 10 o'clock. I had went today and picked up a new project. So we got several new things coming to the channel. So make sure you like and subscribe if you're not. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get our new ground cable hooked up. But first I'm going to wire brush that surface to make sure we got a good ground. Got that cleaned up, and I got to grab the cable. Here's our new ground cable I just made. I put the ends on it, so a lot better than what my buddy's got going on here. But so yeah, I'm gonna run it here and then probably zip tie it and all that good stuff to where it needs to go. Probably run it maybe like that. So grab my bolt. And maybe if I can get it together right here. And put it in there. Alright guys, so this camera is just being absolute garbage. I won't ever buy another GoPro. This will be the last one I ever buy. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to take it in here and I'm going to transfer what data I have on it and then try to format this card, because it's every 30 seconds it says it can't record. So I guess I'll catch you guys tomorrow and we'll pick back up on doing this cable and all that good stuff. Alright guys, welcome back. It's the next day. I think I got this camera straightened out, or I hope. That bolted in. Hopefully that won't cause any problems with the starter. We'll find out, I guess. I'm going to take this wire, bring it up, loop it in here, and this will be our new battery terminal. And I made it a little long, and that's okay because I wanted to have extra versus too much, not enough, basically. So get that in there. And then we're gonna zip tie it all up, make it nice and pretty. But that's where she's gonna go. Next, I guess, next, let's look at the starter. Here's our starter. And it's supposed to be a direct bolt on. I hope it is. So this one's, most of your lawnmowers have, or small engines, they mount several different ways. This one is the old style, and it mounts on these ears. So the way it's supposed to go is it sits right like that, and once you bolt it in, then you know, when you give it power, this spins out, engages your flywheel, and you're good to go. So let's get our bolts and get that put in. I think this is one of them. Make sure. Yep. So get that started. Maybe. Okay. Gotta find the other bolt. Where it went. Okay. It couldn't have went far because I just had it. There it is. Here's our other bolt. Damn, it's hard to get in there. Let me find the socket it goes to. Alright, the same socket. So let's get it in there. I always like to start my threads before I go straight impact. So, that one, and there's that. So now we got that on there. There is another piece that bolts on there, and I think it's just to try to help the starter from moving or give it extra support, whatever. We are going to put it on there too, and then we can use it. Problem is with this wire, I do not like that it runs down in front. There's supposed to be a shield that goes across the front of this, and it is missing, and I don't want to have anything ran that's going to cause, you know, a wire to accidentally get sucked into that outlet was wiring, sucked into that flywheel. So I think what I'll do is run it across the top, bolt it in, and then I'll use this to kind of hold that wire where it needs to be. So I guess first we're gonna go ahead and chop that off and put us a new one on. I'm not real thrilled with all that frayed wire, so let's go ahead and get that done. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up as far as I can here, and I'm gonna chop this off. Yes, these are air hose cutters, but they work great for hose and wire. So we get this clean wire, and then I always just take this and go around. Oh, sorry camera. Like this. Flip it over. And that'll cut back that nice thing, or I should say nice wire coating. Now I'm just going to take a pair of pliers and work this off of there. So now that we got that all peeled back and in good shape, we got to put our new connector or our new end terminal on that. So our new end terminal, I always use solder and heat it up and stick it in it, but I don't know if I have enough solder left, so we'll find out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up with a torch, melt the solder, and then we'll shove the wire in it. I went and bought these big ass solder sticks, and then I just take and cut off a chunk and stick it down inside. And I've got a little bit of actual solder left, just a little stick if I need more. But let's heat this up and I'll show you how I do it. Usually I do it in a vise and just push the wire down in it, but I don't have any way to take this off. So just some solder down in there. Just like that. Bring it over here closer. Keep it warm. Grab our wire and just shove it down in there. Let it cool. Turn our torch off, and then we can take our vice grips off, give it just a few seconds, and we'll have a nice new soldered on end that ain't going anywhere. Now, just because I like doing a little extra, I'm gonna take this heat shrink, put it over it at the joint, turn our torch back on, and just heat shrink. Usually I use a heat gun, this works better, but got the torch, so. There we go. Nice soldered on new part. New wire, or not new wire, but new terminal end. It'll work perfect to go to our new starter. So we're gonna let that cool off. While that's cooling off, we're gonna get in here and try to remove that nut and remove that wire so we can replace the battery terminal. Now, he didn't have a battery, and I have a battery. I found it. It's over there on the long work table. I charged it overnight last night with a trickle charger, so hopefully that'll bring it back to life. It's a couple years old, but we'll see what happens. What I'm gonna do now, though, is we're gonna work on that terminal, and I'm gonna take and unbolt these two bolts out of the head and get our ground wire that they had makeshift and get it out of there. What I'm using. So, goodbye, Mr. Wire. Tighten you. Take you out. And that is actually I'm pretty sure that's a head bolt. But it's no big deal. A little cedar back in there. It's hard to hurt these old Briggs. So there's all that removed and good. Get this off and replace that whole cable, because that cable is shot. Or get it on there, I should say. So let's see if we can break it. Oh yeah, come off there. You coming though. by hand now. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Got our rusty nut and washer off. Now, ever so gently, we can remove this wire. It's got several wires there. Let's see what we got going on. Come on, sir. So there's one. There's one here that's not hooked to anything. Just the terminal is still there, but there's nothing on it. So, not sure what that was for. I don't see any wires down in there. But she is on there pretty good. Oh, baby, come on, sir. So yeah, we had a terminal with a broken off wire in it, and I don't see a wire hanging loose down in there anywhere. I'll do a little better look here in just a second. Let's get this wire out of there. So there's our old cable, and like I said, she's in pretty bad shape. So we're going to replace that whole cable. And I'm going to get down in here and look and see if there is a wire somewhere that has broke off of that other terminal. There she is. I found it. Don't know what it goes to, but I'd say it's probably important. So yeah, there's our broken off, my big head in the way. There is our broken off wire that had the terminal on it. So we're gonna have to fix that. I think it looks like it probably went to the headlights, maybe, or it goes to, it might be the charging wire, who knows. But we'll fix it and put it back on. After digging around for a bit, I found one that'll fit that lug, and I'm going to strip this back, and we're going to put it on. So get it in there. Our strippers in here. Give her a good squeeze. And that has built-in heat shrink, so I'm going to go ahead and heat shrink it. I'll let that sucker cool down, and then we'll go ahead and run it and our new cable. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and take this mess and cut it off, and strip it back so we can run our new piece of wire along with this one down to where the headlights go. Now the one side, like I said, is missing, but we have that other piece up there, but we'll address the way that looks also. So they stripped this back. Went and found us a piece of wire. I went and got a heat shrink connector and some heat shrink. So I'm gonna put my heat shrink on, bring it over, do the connector first, and then we'll have the heat shrink on there to do it next. So how I like to do these, because these are heat shrink solder connectors, I like to frame my wires out just a little like that. See what I'm saying? I do it on both sides, and then I put the two together like this, and then twist them in opposite directions on each end. And what that does is it makes a good connection between them. And then when you solder, this heat shrink connector solders, it solders the two together, and then you got a good tight connection. So I went and found my heat gun. I got it. So let's get this soldered. Hopefully I don't blow a breaker. This little gun takes a lot of power. I got several things turned on. As you can see, how they start at the ends, get them connected good on the wires. I roll the wire around, and then I start doing that center, same way. And you'll slowly see that solder start flowing. I use these connectors on just about everything. They work extremely well. And you don't even have to use heat shrink over the top of them. I just like to as an extra layer of protection. So what I'll do is just slide that over top of it. It's still nice and warm. So I'll just turn this back on. Oops, she slid on me. And we'll just heat shrink her right over top of that. This is the only color heat shrink I got left. I gotta order some stuff. But she's all nice and heat shrinked up, nice and tight. So now I can just run this up to where it needs to go, because I left myself plenty of wire. So we'll lay it up there for now, and we can run our wires where they need to go and put our bracket on. And I'm gonna route it around, and I'm gonna bend it just enough to get it on there, but not put it in too much of a bind. But I want to keep it up out of the way of everything. Got her on there. It ain't tight yet. I'll tighten it up in a minute. I just wanted to get it on there. So now that that's on there, we can tie this onto there. We can put our bracket over it, and that'll be all nice and neat, cleaned up. Then this will run around and through here. It actually has a little, it's hard to see, there's a little tiny grommet for that wire to go through. And just try to feed it through there. And get it out the other end, just like that. So we'll pull all that wire through as far as we can. Just like that. Get this over top of that. And then just leave a little slack. Now we can run this up into the hood where it needs to go. Just like that. And then we'll zip tie it, and we'll zip tie it up there to that part when we fix the end of that wire. We've got to go back and fix our wire that we fixed here, and we got to put our new wire on our solenoid that I have right here. Get it routed in here the right way. Got that on. Now we got to find our other two wires. This was one of them. I got to see where that other one went. There it is. That one's not in the best shape, but it's alright. I don't have too many more connectors to replace anything with. Running out, guys. So now we'll fish this one. Run it back where it was. Just like that. And then we can get our nut and washer. Alright, so there's that part done. I'm going to tackle this one headlight up here real quick. Then we're going to stick a battery in this thing and see what it does. Well, actually, first I got to tighten this up, and I got to put our bracket on. So let's do that. All right, so we got that done. Now it's on to, let's get that one headlight fixed, and we can throw a battery in this thing and I guess see what happens. Yeah, we got ourselves a nice, cleaned up heat shrinked and wrapped up wire. Yeah, go ahead, I guess, and throw the battery. Actually, we've got to tighten up these tank bolts. Once we get those tightened up, we can throw the battery in it and see what it does. So, putting it in here and make sure negative is on this side. Negative is on this side, positive is on that side. So all we got to do is pull out what little bit we need and shove the rest of it back down in there. That'll keep it clean looking anyways. We got to put this tie down back that holds our battery. Start on this side and this side. Oh yeah, smooth as butter. All right, we have got our battery installed. Now, let's hit the key and see what we got. Oh, we have got power, baby. She's gonna fire up, I believe. So let's go around and take a look at the carburetor and see what we got going on there, and see if we can't get this thing to breathe some fire. Alright, so we got two cables. One runs the top up here. Fuel line don't look the best. It definitely needs to be replaced right here. I don't know if it has any gas in it, per se. Let's take this air cleaner off. No air filter. That carburetor is full of trash. You may have to pull the carb, clean it, and put her back together. So let's pull this line. Definitely gonna have to replace that line. I don't like that. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm going to take this and just spray it on this rod, this PV blaster, just to help lube up that rod, because that thing looks rough. And then I'm going to spray some down in the throttle cable and on all the parts that move here, just to give it better movement. Oh, it does have gas in it. Don't smell too good. Well, if it's got gas in it, let's go ahead and hook that hose back up. I'm gonna take the air hose and just blow this out. There's all kinds of stuff down in there, and let's just see if she'll try to do anything. Let's open this up, see if she gets any fuel in there. And about half throttle, pull the choke. Just let her. Definitely got a rat nest or something in her. Hit her with a little brake clean. See if she tries to cheat. Something. She's trying. Let's see. Let's tap on the bowl. Stuck jets or anything. Not sure she's actually pulling any fuel. Let's see what she does. Guys, she fires up and runs, but the key switch don't work. It don't turn it off. So we're gonna have to find the kill switch and see, maybe it's got a kill switch someplace on it that I don't know about. If not, we can find the wire for that and turn it off or put a toggle on it. But by God, dudes, she runs. Who knows how many years it's been sitting not run as she fired up. Go ahead and do this hose and see if we can find where the kill switch is, and then we're going to replace this seat maybe with something I've got, and it'll be good to go. Alright, so I got the new used seat It's in better shape than what was on there. Still not in great shape, but better than what it was. We're going to put that back. There we go. I would call that pretty successful. We got her running. That seat's better than the other one, but it is a little tore up. But it's better. At least you won't get a wet butt. Got all the starter put on. Got everything done up. I'm gonna shoot a little air in these tires for him and see what he wants to do. Let him come look at it. But otherwise, I guess that's about it. I'm gonna zip tie a few things and I'll be done with this one. Not getting into it deep. He just wants it running because he wants to use it, because it has a big tiller attachment on the back of it. He wants to do some food stuff, some plots and stuff like that. So well guys, make sure if you're not subscribed to like and subscribe. And got a lot more new stuff coming up. Got 2 more projects lined up, and still got to finish getting that thing to where it will run and drive. I don't know what's wrong with it. There's something wrong with the torque converter, but we'll get it running. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. There you have it, guys. Off into the sunset.